about, I don't know, almost three-quarters done, and that's going to give him a huge advantage over just the +1/+1 of the infantry that Flipboy has.
Yeah, and if we look at the units lost tab as well, the tide has turned a little bit. Chakku is now 1,000 resources behind due to that battle where those tanks were really able to abuse the high ground. And we do see a couple Banshees out on the field with that cloak. Luckily, the observer is still able to spot them and see, so he can prepare possibly. Oh, and it looks like Flipboy has used the call down extra supply on 3 of his supply depots. I'm not really sure what that's about. That's a maybe you could do it once if you really get supply blocked and you're in big trouble, but using it 3 times or as a habit is just pretty bad because I think a mule translates into something like 300 minerals, and it comes in very quickly. So using that energy on those supply call downs when a supply depot would just set you back 100, I think is not the wisest thing to do.
Yeah, I definitely recommend trying not to get supply blocks. I mean, it happens to all of us at these lower levels, but that's a couple hundred, 600, 700 minerals you could have where they're not on there. I'd say the one situation that it would definitely be a good decision is maybe you're making a push. It's kind of like what do you need at the moment? If you really need 100 minerals that call down is going to give you on the depot, because you want to get 1 or 2 more units out and then make kind of an all-in push, I would say go for that. But in general, it's better to throw down the mules. They will help your economy more. And it does look like he'd have the second expansion going down here on the bottom, which is just what I was going to suggest. He really needs to get that since he's absolutely almost mined out of his main, only 200-ish minerals left. And he just really needs to get more going as well. We see, look at this, vehicle weapons level 1 and a fusion core. So could we be seeing battle cruisers?
That's definitely something to keep an eye out for. We have the command center going down in the bottom left, and I would have liked to see, just a quick note, when he tried to take this earlier expansion right in front of his main, I would have liked to see him build the command center in his main and then fly it down. When it's so close, and there goes another supply call down. I just watched it in front of my very own eyes. Again, I'm not sure why he keeps using those call downs, but it looks like his cloaked Banshee is cloaking up pretty early, which again, you don't want to cloak them until it's completely necessary. He's going to find that there's no reason to cloak here at all, as he's going to be able to do a lot of damage. And he should be focus firing down those probes first, I would suggest, but he is going to take out this Nexus pretty easily. Remaining cloaked, had he moved in here without cloaking, he would have had to save his cloak until Chakku's army comes in to help, or if that's indeed what they do. He's moving his observer back across the map, so I think he realizes that he's not going to be able to detect them. So he's going to be able to do a lot of damage, and now he's forced to uncloak a few of them, but he wasted a little bit of energy on those by cloaking too early.
Yeah, and I really think he should just kind of cloak and get out of here. He's going to go down. Once that observer gets back here, there's really going to be no hope for these 4 Banshees, and it's moving pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If he is going to stay, though, I would like to see him focus fire the Colossi, because that would be a really huge hit if he's going to... It's never going to suicide your units, but if he's going to stay and do that, if he could get at least 1 or 2 of those Colossi, that would be huge.
Yeah, and if we go back to the units lost tab, it looks like Chakku is still 1,000 behind. So it's although Flipboy's lost a few more units, but he was able to snipe that, and while getting up his own third base, so that was pretty big, and he's got a pretty convincing bioball army here with a couple tanks, a medvac. A medvac is actually carrying a tank. Maybe gonna do something crazy with that, or maybe he just doesn't realize it. And he was able to take a 4th as well, but he needs to get some SCVs down there. Look at all these idle SCVs in his main, as well as his naturals. Pretty oversaturated when he has these 2, fresh, just waiting to be used expansions down here. He definitely needs to get his SCVs down there.
Yeah, especially with, what is it, 2 or 3, 3 of the mineral patches gone from his natural. So he should really be doing some SCV transfer right now. And if we take a look at the production tab, ground armor level 2 is on the way for Chakku, as well as 2 battle cruisers from Flipboy. Weapon refit, which gives you that extra energy, I'd imagine. Or is that the Yamato? I'm gonna double check on here. I don't know if you get the battle cruisers. Weapon refit gives you the Yamato. as well as Terran vehicle plating and infantry armor level 2. And it looks like he's just going to post up right here outside of Chakku's base, maybe trying to contain him, stop him from getting this other base again, this third. If he can do that, he'll have a huge economic advantage once those SCVs get transferred.
Pretty unlucky timing. He's going to for Chakku. The Nexus finishes just as he moves in here, so he's going to lose all those resources. But here comes the army from attack. They're in pretty good position with those stalkers and the Colossi in the back, and they're going to be able to do a lot of splash damage, just melting away these units. That battle was completely one-sided, and now if we bring up the units lost tab, Flipboy is way behind now, having lost. Can't even do the math here, but I think about 26 or 2,700 resources more. So definitely getting caught out of position, and the Nexus was able to stay up with these probes sitting here. Probably should get them mining, bros.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going for a counter push right now. I think he may, if he can get rid of these tanks on the high ground, if he just doesn't get scared off by them, he can actually lift them with his Phoenixes, and then the Stalkers can hit them. That would actually be some pretty clever micro. But I think maybe if he waits for a few more reinforcing troops, he'd be able to stop the main pretty hard. Although I would actually recommend going down and trying to take out one of these expansions. I mean, right now he's got to assume there's an expansion up, and it's probably pretty unguarded, which it is. So I would like to see that at the moment instead of a push into the main.
Yeah, if we look at the army tab, Flipboy is just a little slightly behind, 117 out of under 188, and Chakku is at 121 under 158. So pretty close in army size. But Flipboy does have both these expansions, which he's just now getting fully mining. And he's still got all these idle SCVs in his main. You know, it's killing me to look at all these SCVs doing nothing. And here we go, Proxy Pylon warping in a bunch of Stalkers to reinforce this army. He's got the resources. He's got extra gas, actually. So he should consider waiting maybe for even one more round of warp-ins. Maybe he could chrono boost his warp gates. I believe he's got 100 energy from his Nexus. Chrono boost these warp gates so they can warp in units a little bit quicker. Get a second round of Stalkers, maybe throw in some more Zealots, depending on his unit composition. And he's going to have a pretty solid army to push in here.
Yeah, it looks like a Dark Shrine is almost done from Chakku, so we may be seeing what I was talking about earlier, Dark Templars incorporated into your army.
Yeah, and he's producing a few more Phoenixes, which I like. He's going to be able to, use the Graviton Beam, or if he encounters battlecruisers. I'm not sure he knows about battlecruisers yet. But
well, eight Dark Templars on the way. I mean, and the Flipboy's going for this kind of. I mean, this is living on the edge right now, going for the middle expansion between the bases.
Yeah, he's going to walk up in here and be in a pretty bad place again with these tanks, but he's going to try to take out these tanks quickly. The tanks, luckily, focus firing on the Zealots in front, so these Colossi are going to be able to take out those tanks and do a bunch of damage, but he needs these Stalkers to take out these battlecruisers, as he has no other anti-air besides these few Phoenixes.
Yeah, he really needs to get some more Stalkers in here. I really like this, the Dark Templars. They're just going to town on everything here.
Yeah, this is a pretty one-sided battle, except for the fact that he does not have much anti-air. He should get those Colossi back. He should back them away so his Stalkers and Phoenix can finish off the battlecruiser here. But this last Stalker, or Colossus, looks like it's very close. But he really needed that. But at this point, all Flipboy has left are these two tanks. And he's making one more with Terran infantry weapons level 3, but that's pretty much useless at this point.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see during that battle, there was a little missed micro there with the battlecruisers. I think they Yamato 2 of the Colossi, and we're just in general attacking them. You're going to want them focused on Stalkers at that point, because or the Phoenixes, those are really his only anti-air units. And letting your Bio Ball try to deal with the Colossi. I mean, I know that the Colossi do incredible damage to the Bio Ball, but if you get a bunch of Marauders, stim them up, you can actually snipe them pretty fast.
Yeah, and Flipboy still has a fair amount of resources, so if, he's pretty much given up on his main. That's a good call. He should have given up there. He's taken the 12 o'clock as well, but he needs to get some production buildings up as expansions. He does not necessarily need to give up, but he needs to get, pull, 8, maybe not 8, but 5 or 6 SCVs off the line, throw up a bunch of barracks, and start mass producing, trying to get some kind of Bio Ball, get some Marines up or something. But I mean, for the most part, it's pretty much over. I don't think there's much he could do. He can try, but it looks pretty futile at this point.
Yeah, and he does have 3 barracks going down. Although it is over, I would like to see Chakku expanding again, as he is only on 1 base at the moment, with both his well, his natural has 100 minnows left. His main and his natural essentially mined out. So I would like to see him expanding. But really, yeah, I think you're right. There, Chakku goes sending a Phoenix just to random locations over the bases, trying to find where he is. And he's just going to move in here with these Dark Templars and Stalkers and just kind of clean it up.
Yeah, if you look at these Dark Templars, one of them I just saw had 13 kills on one. I saw 10 on another, so 9 on another. So they are really raking in the kills. 12 on this guy. So they were able to get in there. It was a pretty smart play on his part. When he did move in, he could have brought in the Dark Templars first. I don't think there was any detection for Flipboy, so he could have brought those in first. You know, started taking out the command center of the SCVs and got it in Flipboy a little flustered. Maybe he'd unsiege his tanks and like bring them in and then try to scan or something. And you know, just anything that could have distracted him for a little bit while he brought up his main army. He kind of brought them in all at once, and that's the only thing I would say. Even though he was able to win, he lost. You know, he lost all his Colossi and the majority of his Stalkers. Only there's three left. So his positioning on that could have been slightly better.
Yeah, definitely in that earlier battle too, where Chakku just kind of marched into the ramp there, and there were three siege tanks on the ledge and two kind of near the command center. And it was just a funnel for the siege tanks to shoot into. So I mean, our MP here, Chakku, great game, and to improve it, they definitely try to improve your positioning within those battles. I mean, as Mestrick pointed out, he had the observer, he knew where the tanks were, and he still just kind of marched in. And then I'd like to see him expand. Well, he expanded pretty well. I was happy with it. Until the end, I was pretty happy with the way the expansions went down. I would have liked to see one more at the end. And then at the beginning, I would have liked to see these Stargates that he had not really go up. Besides the Phoenixes, he didn't really utilize it. How many Phoenixes did he even produce? 4 Phoenixes? If you're going to do 3 or 4 Phoenixes, you can definitely get that out of 1 Stargate instead of 2. No need to throw the 2 up.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing, I was going to comment at the time, when those 2 Stargates went up, nothing was produced out of them for at least 2 or 3 minutes. So, you know, if you were planning on getting something from them, that's fine to throw 1 up, I would say. But throwing up 2 and then not using them for, you know, a few minutes, your resources are better, you know, better served getting, you know, getting a bigger ground army or throwing down, you know, your 3rd or 4th expansion. Maybe even you know, he could have got some cannons up. He did have a forge, so one thing he could have done to protect this nexus was get a few cannons up when he saw the Banshees after the Banshees' first attack. He almost lost this one, but he was able to save it with his ground army. So that's one other thing he could have gone, just you know, for detection from those cloaked Banshees, and to just better solidify this this expansion. But yeah, so that was the game. We hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, get excited for you know, some upcoming games, especially the one game to rule them all that we've kind of been alluding to. It's a pretty epic game. Should be a lot of fun. And keep sending us your replays to getbetterstarcraft@gmail.com. We'll can't promise anything, but we'll do our best. We have limited time, but we're doing our best to cast as many games as we can. So keep them coming and keep giving us feedback. You know, let us know. You know, that you guys can hear us. The video quality is good. We know the audio quality is not the best, but we are trying our best. So, you know, give us, be patient with us and keep working with us, and we'll keep cranking out the videos for you guys. So, enjoy the game. Anything else, Axion?
I guess, you know, keep getting better.
All right. See you guys later.